What's up guys, welcome back to Aquatic Elements. Today we are visiting an absolutely incredible monster fish pond here in Warwickshire. Now this is Mark's monster fish pond and you can see an absolutely amazing array of species. We're going to be speaking to Mark, he's going to be talking us through the whole system, the filtration, the fish, and towards the end of the video we're going to be giving them some food as well. So let's check it out. So thank you very much, Mark, for giving us a tour of your monster fish pond. If you could maybe talk to us a bit about the dimensions, how you built it,
sure.
And a bit more about how it was made.
Yeah, so this copies how a lot of the high-end koi ponds are done.
Yeah.
So it's concrete blocks laid flat. Then you essentially stick
Celotex or insulation?
Kingspan insulation.
Yeah.
So this is all 100mm. Kingspan, and then it's been fiberglassed. Dimensions wise, it's 4 meters by 2.5.
Okay.
Obviously, you lose a little bit because of the insulation.
Yeah.
But it's about with the filter. So, yeah, I guess excluding the filter, it's probably about 11,000 liters.
Okay.
And then with the filter, about 12.
Yeah. And how long did it take you to build it? Did you build it yourself? Did you get anyone in to do it?
I had my builder help with some of the block work. I helped a little bit as well. So yeah, the block work. All the insulation, sticking the insulation, cutting, the corners, you can see. Yeah. I did all that, but anything that is involved in holding water in, I got a proper company in. So yeah, they did the fiberglassing. Yeah. And they also fitted the window.
Oh, okay. And I can see like at the back of the tank, you've got that sort of like beveled edge or the...
Exactly, so that's just Kingspan just cut into like a triangular shape and stuck in the corner. And it just seems to work better to ensure that all the waste kind of doesn't get stuck there.
Yeah, I assume it helps a bit with the flow and stopping the waste from building up.
Yeah,
and you've got the
gravity fed
drains?
Yeah, exactly.
So are they storm drains, the easy pond storm
spin
drains?
Drifter drains they call them.
Yeah.
There's various different types, but these ones obviously it's got the 1.5-inch pipe for the air, and it's got the 4-inch pipe for the waste. Only one of them is connected up to a filter at the moment.
Yeah.
That's to a Nexus 320.
Okay.
The plan will be eventually to add another one maybe onto a drum and maybe remove the Nexus completely, so maybe both drains could go onto one drum filter. But the thing with a drum filter, you need a water feed right by the pond and also a waste feed here, which we don't have, so that's going to require a little bit of figuring out and digging, I think. But.
Yeah, and I can see you've got some sort of like rock effect cladding on the outside as well, which is really nice. Yeah,
so my mate who built a koi pond outside, he had some left over, so he had a few boxes, gave them to me, and yeah, we just literally stuck them on, and even the tiles you see, they're not what you call them, coping stones. Okay. They're just normal tiles.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So because it's inside, coping stones can be a lot more than the tiles. So.
Yeah. And it looks like there's absolutely no algae on the bottom or the sides. Do you often find you have to clean it or not at all?
So when I first set up the pond, I had an issue with it. I don't know whether it was kind of like new tank sort of syndrome where you get the kind of breakout of algae. But there's 3 big common plecos in here, and they seem to stay on top of it. Yeah, all I'll do is I'll get a biofilm on the glass. Yeah. So I have to clean that every so often. But apart from that, there's no waste. Everything literally goes down the drains.
And what sort of size is the glass that you've got in here? I can see it's absolutely huge.
Yeah, so 2.8 meters by 1.4 and 39mm thick.
Wow.
So it's about 850 kilos. It took about 8 of us to fit it. Yeah. All with glass suckers.
Hefty bit of glass. Yeah. That is.
It was stressful taking delivery of the glass. And then fitting it. That was the most stressful part of the build.
And then for lighting, because this is a massive system, what have you got above the tank there?
So there's 7 100-watt kind of spotlights that are just resting on the lids. Okay. So the lids are 25mm polycarbonate sheets. Yeah. 2.5 meters by 1 meter. So there's 4 of those. I'm glad I went for the thicker sheets though, because they're super strong. So it means I can rest lights on there. I can rest all sorts of stuff with no risk of it ever.
I suppose it helps with any evaporation, keep the moisture down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant. So we've spoken about the sort of tank or the pond itself. Shall we go and check out the filtration?
Yeah, let's do it, mate.
So this is the filter here. So you said it's a Nexus 320 that's
Nexus
cladded?
320, yeah.
And you've got a vary speed pump on there?
Exactly, yeah. I run it about 8,000 litres per hour.
Yeah.
And there's some jack mat on the return of the Nexus, which helps catch some of the fines, because Nexuses aren't known for being great with fines.
Oh, okay. So you got just, what is it, two 4-inch drains going into the Nexus?
Yeah, so one of the spin drifter drains has got a 4-inch return, that goes into the Nexus. The other one doesn't go anywhere at the moment. And then, yeah, it's got a 2-inch pipe that goes back into the pond.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so this is your air source heat pump you've got around here?
Correct, yeah. So it's a 12 kilowatt air source heat pump. Yeah, it's connected onto the returns.
And I can see you got your drains coming out there.
Correct, yeah. So
and then your air pumps outside as well?
Exactly, yeah. And there's a sieve, you can probably see the top of it over there, just above the air source heat pump. So that's connected up as well. That helps with the fines. Because yeah, the Nexus, it's not the best for fines. So when I first set up the pond, the water was quite cloudy. It took quite a bit of refinement to get it to this point.
And that's where your air's going down into your spin drifters?
Exactly, yeah. So the air pumps will pump the air. That will go straight back into the spin drifter drains. But yeah, since fitting the air source heat pump, it probably costs, even now when it's really cold, about £50 a month to heat. It was about $250 before. So
massive cost saving.
Massive, yeah.
And so coming back inside, we've got your, well, I wouldn't say small grout tank, but we've got grout tank. Can you tell us a little bit about this and what you've got in there?
Sure. So I didn't really intend to have a grout tank, but you reach a point where you can't get fish that are always the size you need to put straight in the pond. So I accepted the need to get one. I thought about maybe an IBC or something, but this worked out not much more. So it's just basically a big storage container. I think with how much water's in now, it might be like 500 litres. But it's really good dimensions. It's 1 metre by 1.2.
Okay.
So for bigger fish like gars and stuff like that, it gives them a nice amount of swim room.
I can see you've got a few gar in there.
Yeah, so there's 3 Cuban gars in here. I think they're all about maybe 12 to 14 inch. They're growing quite quick, so maybe in 4 months when they're about 18, 19 inch, they can then go in the pond. And there's a moray eel.
Tucked in that pipe down there.
Yeah, hiding. Yeah, when I brought it, I was hoping it could go in the pond. But I've realised that there's no way. Maybe you could get one eventually that would be big enough, but it will take a very long time.
So speaking back on the pond, could you maybe tell us a few of the different species you've got in here? Maybe even some of your favourites if you've got any?
Sure. Yeah, so it's quite a varied selection, all big preds. A lot of them are kind of risky species that people say you should keep as a species only tank by themselves, but I think this shows if you've got enough room and you don't feed live feed, it can work out all right. But yeah, so the giant snakehead, there's 2. I think that one's probably, would you say about 2 foot?
It's got to be. Maybe even slightly longer.
So yeah, this is a Paraiba. There's meant to be 4 different types, like Peru. I can't remember the other name, but I think the 2 I have are 2 different variants. Which ones, I couldn't tell you. Not a huge amount is known about them. There's very little, but unfortunately his tail is not in the best state. I've not seen this before, so I don't know what's done it, but hopefully it's a one-off and part of keeping big monster fish together. But every other fish is fine.
They're looking really, really fin perfect. Especially for the amount of monster fish that you've got in here.
And the fact I've got a lot of slower moving fish like gars. Usually gars, if a fish is going to get nipped, it's going to be a gar. So yeah, it's a mystery. It's maybe the Goliath tigerfish, maybe the Fly River turtle, but it looks like too much going on with the tail for it to just be a Fly River taking one single bite. So yeah, I don't know, but hopefully it was a one-off. But yeah, these are tropical gars.
Yeah, so these guys are they've got to be 45 centimetres or so? Maybe a foot and a half?
Yeah, I'd say, what's that in inches? About the big one, maybe like 22 inches. A smaller one, probably like 19. But yeah, they're settling quite well. Had them a few months. They're similar to Cubans and alligator gars. They've got the wider snouts.
And speaking of alligator gar, you've got...
Yeah, there's 3 in here now. This one is about 2.5 foot. The biggest one's 3 foot. This is a rescue one. I've had that a few months. There's a guy that had a fish rescue, Craig, and there was a big flood, I think, from a sewage factory near to him.
Yes.
And yeah, his whole setup got destroyed. This was one of the fishes that luckily made it.
Yeah, that was great. You managed to save it. And then is the one at the back the biggest one?
Yeah, so he might come close to the camera in a bit, but I've had it about 2 years.
Yeah.
I say he, I don't know if it's a male or female, but I've not seen a crazy amount of growth. I think he's thickened out a bit.
Yeah.
So I think with a lot of captive alligator gars, they might hit 4 foot, but I think it's going to take a very long time. I think as soon as they hit 3 foot, it really slows down.
And then catfish wise, I can see you've got a platinum red tail in the bottom.
Correct, yes. So we've got 2 red tails. That's the platinum. That's probably about 2.5 foot. That's grown like crazy. When I had it, it was about 18 inch.
Yeah.
I think I've had it maybe 5 months and it's 2.5 foot. So
wow.
that's a lesson to people that think about getting red tails.
Yeah, the other one's just chilling out.
Yeah, I've had him a while. I think similar story to the alligator gars. I think growth on the red tail will really slow down now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know people say they can get to 5 foot. I think in an aquarium setup, even with room like this, I think it is very unlikely with them being captive bred and things like that.
And you can see we've got the Amara wolffish.
Wolffish, yeah.
Just behind the red tail.
Yeah. Not the most active fish.
Yeah.
But it's quite cool during feeding time.
Yeah, it'd be great to see these guys feed.
Oh yeah. And
we will give them some food in a little bit. And then we've got the Asian arowana, which is one of the biggest I've ever seen. Is it golden?
She's a big girl. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, there's a few squabbles between the arowana and the Temensis bass.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the moment things are civil. But yeah, it's amazing. Asian. I don't think people really have much luck keeping multiple Asians together.
Yes.
So I'll just stick with this one.
Yeah, supposedly you need a good 6 or 7.
Yeah, to really kind of slow down aggression. I wouldn't want to add that many. This guy's a bit active for a change as well, the Vundu catfish.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen one of those before.
They're very rare. The Africa's biggest catfish. They can get quite a bit bigger, but this guy, I don't know whether there's like, dimorphism between the male and female in terms of size.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, potentially, I think the males are smaller.
Yeah.
So this could be a male. It's definitely not going to grow anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about 3 foot and at least 25 years old.
Yeah,
and it's an air breather, which is quite cool.
Oh,
so it'll come up. Yeah.
And that Temensis is,
yeah,
it's hard to get the scale on camera, but that is a huge peacock bass.
It is a big boy. Yeah, it's got to be 2.5 foot. I think similar story to a lot of the fish. I can't see much more growth happening now.
Yeah.
And if it is, it's going to be very slow. But yeah, it's stunning.
That's got to be a 20-pound fish in weight.
I'd have thought so. Yeah.
For any anglers out there, that is a very, very big fish.
Yeah, because the thing with the Temensis, obviously, it's quite tall.
Yeah.
So it's the scale is 2.5 foot doesn't really do it justice.
Yeah, that's got to be 12 inches in height.
Yeah.
And then we've got the really, really nice datnoids.
Yeah, so there's 2 datnoids, 14 inch and I think maybe 20. The one's blind in one eye. And obviously has lost a bit of its colour. That usually happens with datnoids when they get to a certain age.
Yeah.
I think the STs maybe keep the size when they're bigger.
Yeah.
But they're very expensive.
Keep that colour, but but absolutely stunning. And do you find they're stable all of the time?
Colour-wise, do you mean?
Yeah.
This one's always got a great colour, and this one's always been quite dull.
Yeah.
I think that's just purely because it's older now.
No, that one's got really, really good colour. Lovely, clean
always
bars
stays
as well.
really bright. Yeah. There's the tiger fish.
Oh yeah, we haven't even spoken about him. So that's a Goliath.
Goliath tiger fish, yeah. I'd say it's probably 20 inch now. I've had it from about 18 inch, so it's already growing.
Yeah.
When I collected it, they got a reputation of being very hard to move.
Yes.
So yeah, it was super stressful, but luckily it went to plan. That was with the help of a few people on the groups that are very knowledgeable and gave good advice.
And then we've missed one of the probably most expensive fish of your collection.
Definitely the most expensive fish, yeah. Yes, that's a albino alligator gar. I'd say probably 18, 19 inches.
Yeah.
It was in the growout until recently. And yeah, I thought it was time, and luckily, yeah, nothing's bothering it. So hopefully that will quickly look like these guys. I think alligator gars look a lot better when they hit about 2.5 foot and really start filling out.
Got a bit of size, and you can really see how big that one is down there. That is a chunky fish.
Oh yeah. This one's not grown much in the 2 years I've had it, but it has definitely filled out a bit.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens with a lot of fish. They'll hit a certain size and then stop growing outwards, just kind of fill out.
Really get the bulk.
Yeah.
And then there's a big fire eel down here.
Yeah, so this fire eel's, I don't think it's quite 3 foot.
Yeah.
But when I first got it, I wasn't sure whether it would survive in a tank like this.
Yes.
But nothing bothers it. And as you can see, it's not stressed.
No, it looks really happy.
With fire eels, you'll see them breathing really heavily when they're stressed.
Yeah.
I should probably put a pipe in there. I haven't done it yet purely because there's so many fish. It's going to get knocked about.
Yeah, just be rolling around
exactly.
all the time.
So I'm not sure if... Obviously, if I see it super stressed, I'll have to either rehome it but I've had it about a year and it seems very happy. It eats. It'll hand feed mussels from the top. It's the only fish that will hand feed. I think all the other fish, they don't really know I exist because of the depth of the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fire eel does.
We'll see if we can get him hand feeding on video.
Oh yeah,
see
definitely.
if he'll do that.
Oh no, he will. He's starving because I knew you were filming, so I held off feeding for a few days.
Oh, thank you. And a few of the probably biggest fish we've missed off in the tank is the huge African widehead catfish.
Yeah, so this guy is very rare. I don't know whether it's male or female.
Yeah.
I've had it about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, previously with various members on the different groups.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very rare. It's really cool. Gentle giant. As wide as it is, it could easily swallow quite a few of the fish in the tank.
Yeah,
but it minds its own business. It's really chilled.
It's really hard, but you can see it next to that ray, and that, I don't know how big you'd say that ray is there.
So I'd say it's 60 centimeters disc. It's an old girl. It's got to be about 14 years old now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to grow anymore. But yeah, it's very happy. I'm not going to breed rays because you can imagine with the gravity-fed drains, the pups are going to disappear.
Down.
So yeah, just 2 females.
A Matoro or some kind of Matoro hybrid, maybe?
Yeah, I find it hard to keep up with all different ray species.
Yeah, there's so many different hybridizations now.
Yeah, I would like to add maybe like a black diamond or something, but I've kind of gone more for like the big catfish, and I'm quite happy with the 2 rays I've got.
Oh, absolutely stunning. I don't know if we've missed off any fish. There's a
Fly River,
cichlid at the back. Oh yeah, the Fly River turtle.
Yes, we've got a Fly River turtle. We call it Timmy.
Yeah.
It's a male. I think it was 19 when I got it, so it's got to be 21 years old now. Definitely not going to grow anymore. You're meant to feed them fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
I've tried. Not interested. Only want sprats.
Yeah, some of them can just be so fussy.
Yeah. But yeah, great fish. It's like all Fly Rivers, I think that instinct where they'll chase.
Yeah.
You can't kind of stop that.
Yeah.
But because there's a big volume of water, any fish can get away from it.
Yeah.
So you'll see like 5 seconds where it looks really terrifying with it chasing other fish, but it'll quickly realise it can't catch it, and then
amazing.
Everything calms down.
Well, shall we give them a bit of food?
Yeah, let's do that.
So you can see those lights.
You can see the scale of it, yeah.
See those lights and just how far back that goes. Just sitting on the polycarb up there.
Yeah, I've got a heat extraction unit that's going to go on, which should help a little bit with the mould, and then I can run it at a higher temperature. I only run it at 25 at the moment.
Yeah.
I'd like to run it a little bit hotter, but because of the obviously the moisture and stuff escaping, 25 seems to work quite well. It doesn't seem to do anything with the room. But.
So we've got the lids open now for the feeding. You can see all the fish are becoming a lot more active. So what do you normally feed on a sort of weekly basis? So you got some mussels there?
Yeah, I'd say probably maybe a kilo, maybe 2 kilos of mussels. And then sprats it's probably a kilo of mussels, and probably sprats is probably about 5 kilo.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah.
Wicked.
That sounds about right. Where's the fire eel? The fire eel will definitely come up when it realises. Oh, always goes wrong.
Wow, that is a lot of food.
Oh yeah, it'll quickly go though. And then just kind of wait and see what people eat.
Yeah. So those sprats have got to be 4 inches long.
I'd say so, yeah.
If that gives you a little bit of scale to how big these fish are.
Yeah, the fire eel's coming in now.
If I just
Go for it, mate.
hold one in my hand. So that's a sprat in my hand. And you can see just how big some of these fish are, especially that Temensis bass, the stingrays.
Oh look, you can see the albino's got a sprat now as well.
Oh yeah. Especially compared to that wide head catfish.
Yeah, you should see the Goliath as well going in for one in a sec.
Wow, that is impressive.
Yeah, food doesn't last long. I kind of like, throw in 2 handfuls, wait until there's nothing really on the floor.
Yeah.
And throw a bit more in. Yeah, the albino's going in again.
Well, yeah, you can see
noise going in.
I can see the fire eels coming up.
Oh, yeah, so the fire eel will hand feed. Come on. Yeah, there you go, see. Yeah, it's the only fish that will hand feed.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah, I think that's a type of Vieja, that cichlid.
You might be right. Yeah, I'm not that
is.
clued up on cichlids.
Yeah, you're right. That food quickly goes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it usually works quite well. Throw in 2 handfuls, and then if I go too crazy, more will get lost down the drain. So it's better to kind of throw in a bit, and then
you don't really want to sit in the pipes or in the nexus.
Well, what I'll do is I'll feed now, leave the filters running, or the pumps running for about 6-7 hours, and do water change tonight.
Okay.
So then all the food that actually is sitting in the nexus is because I'll clean the nexus at the same time.
Yeah.
So that usually works quite well to minimise how long it's actually sitting there.
And so that brings us on to the maintenance. What sort of maintenance regime do you have for this system?
It's pretty straightforward. It literally is. I'll do a bit feed like this twice a week.
Yeah.
And then after the feed, wait 6-7 hours for the water to be clear again. Then clean the nexus.
Yeah.
Literally takes about 5 minutes to clean the nexus. So I'll drain the water down to about 20%. 20% less.
Yeah.
And then I'll fill back up. So I'd say about 2 hours for it to fill back up.
Yeah. You just use normal tap water?
Just out the cold tap. But I'll run it through a 3-stage system. But because we're electric only, there's no gain in me trying to use the boiler or anything to heat.
So
cold water goes in, it will drop down from maybe 25 to maybe 23.
Yeah.
But then the air source heat pump will quickly bring it back up. In an ideal world, I'd want no water drop, but because we are electric only, there's not really an option. The fish aren't bothered by it. I've been doing it that way for 2 years and had no issue. I think when I've got the extractor fan in, I'll probably run it at 27, so then if it drops 2 degrees, it's still 25.
Yeah.
So that might be a bit better, but fire it up.
And have you got any more, is there any bucket list fish that you would love to keep, or?
Probably more like rare colourmorphs of alligars.
Yeah.
But they're expensive and they're rare, so.
Yes.
Things like what we were talking about before, the fast-moving catfish. I've gone blank.
Oh, Lint's catfish.
Lint's catfish, yeah, I was potentially going to get one of them, but a lot of these rarer fish are very hard to move.
Yeah.
I think at the moment, unless something really cool comes up, I'm happy. You saw the giant snakehead going in.
Yeah.
Might as well throw a bit more in.
I don't think I've ever seen someone throw in a double handful of sprats into a tank, which is absolutely crazy.
What you'll notice though, the Vundu catfish will, if I throw in a lot of mussels, it will start to go crazy when it realises. Yeah, some of the fish really prefer mussels, like the Asian arowana, the snakeheads, and the Vundu. Everything else will eat the sprats. Yeah, he should realise in a second that there's mussels in there and start
waking up and going crazy.
Yeah, he's not the most active.
So they literally only pretty much eat the. Oh, there you go. He's woken up now. So they eat pretty much just sprats, mussels.
Sprats and mussels, because of the amount of food I'm feeding,
yes.
I need to kind of be smart about the cost of the
yes,
food.
Yes,
But I managed to get mussels for about £4.50 a kilo.
Okay.
Which, with the amount I'm feeding, it saves me a lot versus buying from like Asda or normal. I mean,
you'd be going through bags and bags and bags.
Well, that's a 1 kilo bag, and that might not last that long.
So that's 1 kilo, and then you've got the.
There's
10 kilos
10
of
kilos
sprats
in here. Obviously, I've just brought it out for ease of use. So I'm not going to feed that much, but probably about 3 kilos might go in this feed. Yeah, the Vundu catfish has noticed now. Let's see if he starts feeding. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we got the Goliath on camera. We might have just missed it.
Yeah. It'll see a sprat floating and kind of go in for the kill.
That's Mensis. You might be able to get a little bit of scale with his head by my hand. But that is absolutely amazing seeing them feed.
The most aggressive feed is definitely the platinum red tail. Nothing eats food like that.
Yeah, I can see the huge tummy on him.
Oh, it will turn now. I think it notices more food. There you go.
Wow, well, thank you very, very much.
Oh, anytime.
That was absolutely amazing to, one, see the setup, just see even the size of fish and the quality of fish. They're all really, really healthy.
Yeah.
And they look really, really happy as well. And also to watch them all feed on camera. So thank you very, very much. Amazing setup. Really appreciate it. And that is the end of the video of Mark's Monster Tropical Fish Pond, an absolutely incredible pond. I'm going to put a link down below to his Instagram if you want to check it out. And a real big thank you to Mark giving us the tour of this absolutely fabulous system. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them down below. Please make sure to give the video a like and subscribe. We've got a lot more tanks and a lot more shop tours coming very soon. But thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.